Hello students, welcome to the e-learning platform presented by Mechanical Engineering Department of Dr. Bapuji Saroke Institute of Engineering and Technology, Kolhapur. The learning objectives of today's session are: number 1, study of properties of refrigerant. The different properties of refrigerant will be studied in today's session. Second, study of applications of vapor compression refrigeration cycle. The various applications of vapor compression refrigeration cycles such as domestic refrigerator or ice plant and the water cooler will be studied in today's session. Starting with refrigerant properties. Refrigerant are working fluid which absorb heat from one body and reject it to another, usually by phase change through evaporation and condensation. The design of refrigeration equipment depends strongly on the properties of the refrigerant selected for the use. The desirable properties of refrigerant can be classified into three physical properties: thermodynamic properties, chemical properties, and physical properties. In thermodynamic properties, the first is boiling temperature. The boiling temperature of refrigerant at atmospheric pressure should be low. The boiling temperature affects the capacity and operating cost of the system. Second, freezing temperature. The freezing point of refrigerant should be low because refrigerant should not freeze under the working evaporator temperature. Third, evaporator and condenser pressure. Both evaporator and condenser pressure should be positive, that is above atmospheric, and it should be near to the atmospheric pressure as possible. Fourth, critical pressure and temperature. The critical temperature of refrigerant is high, at which it can be condensed to liquid. If critical temperature of refrigerant is too near the desired condensing temperature, the power consumption is more. Fifth, latent heat of vaporization. A refrigerant should have high latent heat of vaporization at the evaporator temperature. Higher the latent heat, higher is refrigerating effect. Next is chemical properties. First, flammability. The ideal refrigerant are neither flammable nor explosive. That is, the refrigerant should not be flammable or explosive. Second, toxicity. Toxicity of refrigerant may be of prime or secondary importance. Some of non-toxic refrigerant, when mixed with certain percentage of air, become toxic. These refrigerants affect human comfort or human body because it's cause and strong irritant. Therefore, these refrigerants are not used in refrigeration and air conditioning system. Third, solubility of water. The soluble refrigerant causes the corrosion on the metal and also choke the expansion device, that is capillary, used in throttling system. So, refrigerant should not be soluble in water. Fourth, effect on stored material. The refrigerant should not affect the storage material. There should not be change in color, taste or texture of the material when exposed to the refrigerant. Fifth, oil miscibility. The refrigerant should mix well with oil in compressor and should be able to separate from oil before the vapor enters the condenser. The miscibility of refrigerant with lubricant oil is advantageous in that oil is returned to compressor by refrigerant. Next are the physical properties. First, stability. An ideal refrigerant should not decompose at any temperature and in refrigeration system. So, the refrigerant should be stable. Next, corrosive property. The ideal refrigerants are non-corrosive. Freon group of refrigerants are non-corrosive with practically all metal. Ammonia is used only with iron or steel. Third, viscosity. We know viscosity. The refrigerant in liquid and vapor state should have low viscosity. Viscosity is desirable because the pressure drops in passing the liquid and suction lines are small. It also improves heat transfer rate through the condenser and evaporator. And last, leakage tendency. The leakage tendency of an ideal refrigerant should be low. Leakage refrigerant should be easily detectable. The leakage occurs at joints or flaws in materials used for construction. Next point, applications of vapor cycle refrigeration system. The very first application is the domestic refrigerator, the refrigerator that we use in our household applications, okay, or in our household. Domestic refrigerator, we know, always come in various sizes as per liters, such as 160 liter, 210 liter, 320 liters, 380 liters, etc. Okay, the liter is a unit that is used to specify the refrigerator size, but it is the volume of the cooling space. The primary function of refrigerator or freezer is to protect the food from spoilage and store in space maintained at low temperature than surrounding atmosphere. The secondary function is formation of ice for domestic consumption. The satisfactory temperature of preservation of fresh food is about 0 degree to 4 degree Celsius for a domestic refrigerator. The below figure shows the line diagram of an domestic refrigerator. The main components of refrigerator system are compressor, condenser, capillary tube, evaporator, defrost system, strainer, accumulator, and last is the refrigerant. The construction of refrigerator goes on as this system works on vapor compression refrigeration system because of its compactness and more efficient use of electrical energy. The refrigerant used is R134A. The evaporator in the domestic refrigerator is a plate and tube or press sheet type in the form of box, serves as freezer for the storage of frozen food as well as for making the ice. It is located at top and above the food storage space. The evaporator temperature is maintained at about -10 degree Celsius. A push button is provided in the center of the thermostat knob, which break and keep vertical electrical contact of thermostat open until the evaporator temperature rises above freezing point and defrost takes place. The outer shell is fabricated of steel properly treated and finished with synthetic baked enamel to prevent rusting. Gasket is provided at the round out of the cabinet. The gasket of soft rubber or vinyl compound can be compressed, thereby sealing the cabinet door effectively when the door is closed, which prevents the air leakage. Working of the domestic refrigerator works on vapor compression refrigeration system because of its compactness. We know the refrigerant from the evaporator is at low pressure is sucked by the hermetically sealed air compressor and compressed to high pressure and high temperature with easily discharged to fin type condenser which reject latent heat to the atmospheric air. The condensate form is stored in reservoir and according to need it is allowed to pass through the capillary tube which acts as an expansion device so the pressure and temperature are lower. Capillary device acts as throttling unit keeping enthalpy constant. The pressure of refrigerant leaves capillary is maintained above atmospheric pressure. To control temperature inside refrigerator, there is a thermostat whose sensor is connected to the evaporator. The thermostat setting can be done by round knob inside the refrigerator compartment which we know. When the set temperature is reached inside the refrigerator, the thermostat stops the electric supply to compressor and compressor stops, and when the temperature falls the below certain level it restarts the supply again. The evaporator here is called as freezer. Here the refrigerant absorbs heat from substance which are kept for cooling and changes its phase to vapor form, and this vapor is sucked by compressor and the cycle is repeated again. The application and the refrigerator, once considered a luxury, has now become an essential application in household for prevention of food, also in hospital, hotels, as chemists, laboratories, thereby reducing in wastage. The second application of vapor cycle refrigeration system is the ice plant. Ice plant, the manufacturing of ice is one of the principal need of the refrigeration because the quantity of ice required for different purpose is very large. Ice factories are commonly installed nowadays in every small town in India. The conventional refrigeration system is used in commonly production of the ice. The indirect method of cooling is used for production of ice. The conventional refrigeration system uses NH3 as primary refrigerant and brine, that is NaCl plus water, as secondary refrigerant to achieve the temperature of -10 to -12 degree Celsius for the production of an ice. In ice system, the galvanized iron cans containing water are placed in a brine tank where brine is circulated by the pump. The ice plant of can system is shown in the figure below. The simple vapor compression cycle is used in primary circuit using ammonia as refrigerant and brine in the secondary circuit. This is indirect method of cooling used for ice production. The ice can contain water which rejects heat to brine which is circulated through secondary circuit. This brine is pumped to evaporator, pumped through the evaporator and again returned to the brine tank. In evaporator, the heat of brine is transferred to refrigerant ammonia in primary circuit and the brine is cooled. This cooled brine again results to the insulated brine tanks. The vapor refrigerant ammonia uh, formed in evaporator is sucked by the compressor and then compressed is to a high pressure and is condensed in a condenser with the help of water in the condenser by cooling water circuit. The high pressure liquid ammonia is collected in the receiver and then passed through an expansion device or expansion valve. The throttle liquid ammonia at low pressure and low temperature enter into evaporator which is coil dipped, which coil is being dipped into the brine. So brine is cooled and ammonia absorbs heat and form vapor and the cycle is continually repeated till the ice is achieved. Ice can be made in any desirable shape from 10 kg to 180 kg. The third application of vapor compression refrigeration vapor compression refrigeration cycle is water cooler. Water coolers are used to produce cold water 7 degrees Celsius to 15 degrees Celsius for drinking, used in school, offices, factories, stores, etc. There are usually two types of water coolers. One is the instantaneous type, that is the water is cooled directly, and second is storage type, that is the water is stored in a tank. Hmm? In instantaneous type of water cooler, evaporator consists of two separate cylindrical helical spring type coil made of copper or stainless tube. The two coils are twisted and bonded together by soldering. The refrigerant flows in one coil while the water to be cooled is flowed in other. The water is cooled by the refrigerant uh, and by absorbing the heat from water. The instantaneous type water cooler as shown in figure consists of the two coils. In one coil the water flows and in other coil the refrigerant flows. and the heat of the water is taken away by the flowing refrigerant from the evaporator coil. In storage type cooler, the evaporator coil is wound around the storage tank and soldered to it for better heat transfer. Generally, tank is made of stainless steel with a float control valve to the inlet of water to avoid wastage of chilled water. In instantaneous cooler, a filler bulb of thermostat is clamped on the water coil just at the outlet end, which senses the temperature water and stop the compressor when the desired temperature or set temperature of the water cooler is reached. Equipment required used are hermetically sealed compressor depending upon the capacity of cooler, capillary tube, evaporator, flooded type evaporator, and air cooled condenser with fan and coil in. Applications are, we know that it is used in colleges, hospitals, offices, various industries, etc. Thank you. This is it. In today's session, we have completed the refrigerant properties and the application of vapor compression refrigeration cycle. Thank you.